Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. Well, mark your calendars. October 21st through the 24th, there is Money 2020. It's going to be held in Las Vegas at the Venetian, and there are 450 speakers. So companies like Ant Financial, Western Union, IBM, Goldman Sachs, Amazon, Coinbase, Pantera, Facebook, BlackRock, PayPal, Google, and of course, Ripple. And Ripple has a few representatives. So we do see that Chris Larson here is going to speak. He's one of the guest speakers. And Ashish Birla will speak on October 23rd. And maybe the most interesting is going to be David Schwartz, because they're going to put him in a debate. And the debate will be, will blockchain replace today's payment platform? That's going to be on October 22nd. I'd love to see that. So I think Chris Larson is going to speak about the ripple effect, and it's going to be on October 24th at 11:35 a.m. So over 100+ hours of content. A little expensive to go. For the entire pass, you can purchase that for $3,200, and that actually expires on September 7th. And so you can still save $295, and they will feed you breakfast and lunch. You'll have access to the evening network parties and even be able to do some of the deep dive workshops. I just don't doubt it's going to be full of press releases. And when we look at the size, there's 11,500 attendees. And according to the breakdown, 11% will be representative of the banking and credit union sector. 14% are investment analysts, government, and consulting firms. 22% will be retailers, telecoms, and mobile companies. 25% will be service providers in the financial industry. 9% will be blockchain and personal finance, and 19% will be payment companies. So that gives you kind of a breakdown of who will be there. 91% of the attendees, according to their statistics, visit the expo hall. 85% attend the content sessions. There are 530 sponsors and 6+ hours spent in the expo hall on average. Interesting statistics. So I think it's going to be a big event. Okay, as everybody knows, Japan had a big earthquake, and the earthquake was very large. It was on the northern island of Hokkaido, and you can see here where the star is. Japan does a rating of intensity based on how much it shakes. So yes, they do pay attention to magnitude, but more importantly, they have a rating system that is 1 through 7, 1 being just a slight shake up to 7, and this was a 7. So it was very intense, and there is something that is just kind of something I've never seen before. Look at this. So just about a week before the event or the earthquake, one of the typhoons actually passed very close to Hokkaido and brought that area a lot of rain. So the hills were just saturated. And these peaks here, when the earthquake took place, you can see the slides that occurred. So the trees and the mud just came off these hilltops as if they were just shaved. And you can see the spill of mud and trees down below. I have just never seen this before. And you look across all of these peaks and they're just bare. So as of now, I think 17 people have died, but there's still 21 missing. And the reason why I talk about that is because I wanted to let everyone know that even in Japan, the XRP community is so tight. And there were so many tweets of people who were worried and caring and checking in on fellow XRP people on Twitter. So I know the Twitter and XRP supporters are very tight, and I just thought it was important to know that that community also is very strong here in Japan. All right, congratulations to Ripple. They have made the top 50 most sought after startups in the US. So LinkedIn announced the top 50. And within the top 50, you had to be independent or privately held. You had to have 50 or more employees, and you had to be a company that was 7 years or younger. So if we take a look, in that first place position is Lyft. And they are definitely the underdog, but they're rising. And then Halo Top Creamery, they're a food and beverage company out of Los Angeles. Number 3 was Coinbase. Of course, that is the cryptocurrency exchange. It's just 6 years old, and it is located in San Francisco, at least the headquarters. Has a global headcount of 500. And then there was Noodle AI in the 4th position. They're a computer software company, also in San Francisco. Bird Internet, which is in Venice, California, down there in Southern California. Venice is right next to LAX. And 6th is Robinhood, another, Menlo Park. So Silicon Valley company. And then in the 7th position was Ripple. So the first 7 were all in California. And they wrote, I think, a really great description on Ripple. So finance modernized. Sending money between banks across borders remains stubbornly antiquated. And Ripple uses blockchain technology to transform what has been a multi-day process into one completed in seconds. The 6-year-old startup has more than 100 customers, including massive banks such as Santander and Standard Chartered. And this is something I didn't ever read before. It added 2 new customers a week last quarter. I hadn't read that ever before. The global headcount is 250. They're headquartered in San Francisco. And the ripple effect, while some blockchain companies are still playing in the sandbox, as Ripple tells LinkedIn, it's focused on growth. It plans to hire another 75 people by year's end. So if you follow that link, it will take you to all of those jobs that are open. And they are mostly in San Francisco, although there's a few in New York City. And there's market intelligence manager, which sounds very interesting, sales director, engineers, tax counsel, product marketing manager, a senior technical services engineer, an office manager. Anyway, lots of jobs. So they're going to be, HR is going to be very, very busy. If you ever had a desire to work for Ripple, I think this is the time. All right, let's take a look at the XRP volume, okay? In the last 24 hours by exchange, we are looking here at currency. So 11% has been traded in Japanese yen, and then you can see 9% in Ether, 22% has come in from BTC, and US Tether represents 16%. US dollar is just at 7%, but look at this. This is ZB. This is ZB coin. This is an exchange that's in Hong Kong. They have been really dominating this space this last week. I've been watching it. It's been as high as 22%. So in the last 24 hours now, it's at 16%. They are now in the top 20 of the cryptocurrency exchanges. They were launched in 2017, and they are pretty much a crypto to crypto, although they do have a little bit of crypto to fiat. And the ZB coin is their native coin. They're very popular because they are so low in terms of fee to trade, like on average 0.2%. And they have approximately 40 different currencies you can trade. So they work across the globe in many languages, and they are really coming on strong. Here we have volume by market. So Bitbox is Line, the Japanese company Line, although they are headquartered in Singapore. And then there's Bitbank. Okay, they have been in that number one position prior for the last, I don't know, at least half a year, if not the last year. They have gone down to 11%, and the ZB is at 18%. So even the two combined at 19%, this ZB is really making a name for itself. So they did 55 million, which is 16% of the volume in the last 24 hours. Bitbank then very close at 40 million, and then a little bit of a drop, Bitbox at 26 million. So I want to take a look at this Bitbank. I found out today that the zero fee campaign that was supposed to end September 30th for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, Monocoin, and BCH is actually been extended. So it has been extended to the 4th of January, 2019. So this is one that if SBI is going to grab market share like it wants to, it's going to have to compete with Bitbank. And when we look at the SBI Holdings financial results for Q1 that came out in March, we do see on, I think it's 109, let me just see, 109, and I'll put a link to this in the comment section if you've not ever seen it. It's really very fully broken down by the conglomerate's businesses and what they've achieved and kind of strategy moving forward. And it says here that it plans to conduct promotions such as air TV commercials and further spread reductions for the SBI VC trade site. So I don't give up on Mr. Kitao. I know he is not satisfied or happy with being number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. He is number 1 with his FX site. He's very proud of that. He also has the same goal for the SBI VC trade site. I don't doubt, it hasn't even been 2 months yet, but I don't doubt that there is a lot in the works, and we just need to have a little bit of patience. And if we go to slide number 133, I just want to remind everybody that they are totally committed to using the XRP token. So if we look here, let me just remind you, because 2 days ago they hit a milestone with the 500 billion yen in their global remittances and really gave great credit to Ripple for all of the cost savings and the speed. But if we look here, the SBI remit, okay, along with these other partners, they are promoting the use of XRP for international remittances. So the SBI remit is going to continue to stay focused on being a really great partner for Ripple. All right, just quickly, talking about SBI, you know that they committed to mining Bitcoin Cash, and they wanted to actually represent 20% of that mining. Well, today on the headline, Bitcoin Cash Network faces attack threats from SBI, says Bitmain's Jihan Wu. Well, okay, hang on a second, because I'm not so sure that is really the case. On September 6th, Jihan Wu, the founder and CEO of the Chinese mining company Bitmain, publicly wrote on Twitter about SBI threatening to pull an attack on the BCH network. Wu claimed that the group will use its hash power to hand over the control of the BCH network to its ally Craig Wright, the chief scientist at nChain. And so that, though, was disputed by David Jerry. He is with SBI, and he said no such claim was made. SBI will remain neutral and support the longest chain. If a split occurs, then unfortunately, BCH cannot be used as a platform for real businesses. So I think that, yeah, they really hope there is not a split. And it is coming down to Craig Wright's camp, and the other camp is, of course, Roger Ver. So I think we just still need to wait and see. But speaking of splits, now I'm going into the fluff story. There was a big split in Japan with the Yakuza. So last May, the Yakuza gang split into two factions, and it was big news at that time. The key members of the Kobe Yamaguchi Gumi gang said that it had formed a splinter group in the central Hyogo prefecture. So that's not really the purpose, though, of my fluff. What I wanted to talk about is that I am totally fascinated with the tattoo from Japan. And yes, of course, the Yakuza are well known for having these body tattoos, but it is also done in non-Yakuza style too. And I wanted to show you the most famous artist in Japan for that full body tattoo, or that Japanese style that is actually so artful and so beautiful and so colorful. And I just, it's, in my opinion, it's a work of art. So I don't have any tattoos, but I think a beautiful tattoo is beautiful. And this is Horiyoshi III. And he is by his own name, Nakano Yoshihito. And he's one of the top tattoo artists in Japan, and maybe the most famous. He was born on the 9th of March, 1946 in Japan. And for decades, Horiyoshi III has become known as the ambassador of Japanese traditional irezumi. And irezumi is the kind of full body tattoo. And befriending people like Mr. Don Ed Hardy. If you know Hardy, he does a lot of textile designs that are inspired by the Japanese tattoo. And from the 1980s, he's made extensive travels to the West, showing off his skills and his artwork. He is a true artist, and he is always in high demand. So with 40 years of practicing this traditional Japanese irezumi, he also draws and he also paints, and he has reached an impressive level in his craft. And there is even, he does reside in Yokohama, and he has also a tattoo museum there as well. Now, if you visit Japan, you can't get a tattoo done by Horiyoshi, but you can get a tattoo done by his son, and he is now his apprentice, and his name is Soyo. And you can go to his website and you'll see that a lot of Western people do come to Yokohama, and you can make an appointment right here on his website, and no doubt he's going to be great and famous one day too. So if you're interested in this kind of Japanese style of tattoo, there is a great short 5-minute documentary about his work, and you can actually see him applying the tattoo, and it's quite something. So I don't know how you feel about tattoo, but as a person who loves art, I see the tattoo as art. And maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you have to admit, when you look at his designs, they are fabulous. Okay, everybody, that's all I have for you today. So sayonara for now. Please take care. Bye-bye.